is going on? Greetings, Optimus. Today is Friday, May 12th, 2023. Can you believe it's already the 12th? It's pretty crazy. Whew. Haven't taken a look at the market this morning. A lot of times I haven't before we start the stream. It's gonna get situated here. What's up, Kevin? Whew. Good morning. Good to see you here. Let's jump on in. Looks like market's gonna pulling back some. It's on a 10-second chart. ES is down $5 today. It was closed yesterday. Looks like it's falling down pretty hard right now, actually. It's been a new low. All right, so I'm gonna try to keep on scalping today on this account that we kind of blew up yesterday. Well, we actually did blow this account up pretty hard yesterday. Unfortunately. So I'm gonna try to be aware of my body. I did once again go hard on work yesterday. Basically, I get up most days around 5:30 or so. I've been kind of sleeping until about 6:30 recently. But most days I'm usually up by 5:30 at the latest. And then I tend to work until about like 10:45 at night. Doing everything from like lawn work to housework to like, I don't know, remodeling, reorganizing, just like endlessly working, it feels. To gardening as well. So I'm pretty sure some of that has probably showed up in my trading a bit. Just some of that exhaustion, I can tell. Okay. I'm going to watch the 10-second chart here a little bit because like I said, it might give us a setup earlier. We're coming off that low. Might get like a double bounce, like a double bottom here. Perhaps a bounce. Just going to watch it though. Oh, and I'm going to do some assessment on some longer time frames as well. Basically, it looks like the trend to me is downtrend on the day. We have support and resistance here at 41. This was a big area of resistance yesterday. Looks like in the after hours, we ripped up to 64. Today we're kind of crashing down some. What's this? Yeah, we had this breakout 11:30 yesterday. This was actually a breakout that we were waiting on yesterday. It was this 3-minute breakout. This 3-minute crossover here, and it pretty much just followed the very basic strategy. It just ran up for hours. 5-minute chart also breaking down. We just got a 5,200 cross on the low on the 5-minute. It's looking very bearish. We may have to look at doing shorts today. Yeah. All right. So plan on the day. I'm gonna trade kind of smaller in this account. Um, I have 294 available on my trailing max. Yesterday, I'd gotten that as low as like $70, so I got really close to failure yesterday. I did pull back some, about 220 bucks worth, and so I'm gonna play it a little, like play it pretty safe, but I am gonna wait for like a trend reversal type situation, just so I can. I don't know about a trend reversal in a day, but just like a short trend reversal, even something like this, I could trade. Um, well, this went from like 38 to 40. So there's like 8 ticks available right there. Or shorting off the EMA 35s or shorting off the 9 as well. This kind of looks to me like this is like this low area of support, at least for the 10-second chart. So it's really just for the 10-second chart. Which I don't know that I'll be doing much trading on. I do enjoy trading the 20-second chart though a lot. We're getting a lot of rejections along the 9, or at least that this area did. This one was sideways, rejecting at the 50 EMA. Still continuing to make new lows here. Having a nice trade down. Actually looks pretty similar to yesterday. Reasonable range within each candle, like anywhere from like 5 ticks to 8 ticks in a candle. So not really getting a setup here. This would have been the setup here would be to take the short right there. Not just because that's like the longest period of time, but because it's basically rejection off the 9 exponential moving average. So this was like support, and then this is the breakout to the downside. I'm gonna try to go short right here.
Order filled.
I'm in short 35.75. It looks like it has a little too much support. So I'm gonna cut that.
Order filled.
Loss of 156. I'm not the greatest short trader in the world, but that kind of seems to be what the plays are today. That felt more like a long to me intuitively too. So what up, Tiny? Good to see you. By the way, make sure y'all hit the like button. It does help. This was a nice trade, just in the wrong direction. I'm gonna go down to 1 contract. Trailing max is now at 138 since we just lost that 156 on that. So trailing max is really low. This is pulling up some. This is where I would take it in terms of anticipation breakout. I'm gonna try to go short here.
Order filled.
I'm in short off 37 and a quarter. I'm looking for a move down to 36.50. It's finding too much support. I tried to exit right there, but no fill. It was it basically touched it for like a second.
Order filled.
Made a single tick off a single contract on that, so $10. Nothing really to write home about. This actually looks like this is beginning to break up to the upside a little bit. Let's check this on the 10-second chart.
Order filled.
It's short right there. I'm looking for that move down to 36.50 again. Come on.
Order filled.
Took it off again with a single tick, but this time 2 contracts. So now down 127.50. Again, I'm not the best short trader in the world. Not by a long shot. So how y'all doing today? No trades for you? Just don't know if I want to today or not. Finally got back to 20K in my paper account. Yeah, I totally understand that. All right, so we basically took a kind of a reasonable sized loss on there. My intuition said to go long too, and I went short just based off the movement of the day. Kind of wish I didn't. But it's all right. Trailing max at 167 on this account. I do have the other account as well, but I think I'm gonna wait for days that follow my setup to trade that account. Also, I think my confidence is a little bit shook from yesterday's trading. Yeah, this is looking decent. I think my confidence is slightly shook from yesterday's trading as well. And so I'm gonna bear that in mind when it comes to my current, like, my trading on the day. I was I was considering taking a short off there too, just because it's rejected so many times at the 50 EMA. I do also have a headache right now, and so that I'm gonna try to make sure that doesn't affect my trading. Nice little pop there. Naproxen for the headache. I don't normally take anything if I get a headache, but it's kind of a bad one. So a little bit of a special circumstance, I guess. Kind of riding along this 50 EMA here. Kind of feels like it wants to bounce a little bit. It's too sketchy of a zone for me though. But I think that we might get like a like sort of a red to green move in this area potentially. 40 and 41 area is very much resistance. You can even see it here on the 10-second chart on the 200 moving average. Yeah, it took you over 3 months, but you did it. I mean, that's what it's all about, dude. You did it. You know what I mean? Whoa. I just noticed this, like, there's a magnification button. Here, I'll show you. There's this, like, little magnification thing I can hover over. It makes it huge. That's actually really nice for me. Slow and steady. The turtle wins the race, not the rabbit. You are correct. Thank you, actually. There's that tiny little breakdown there. I wonder if we'll pull back down towards these lows. There's a lot of volatility. Well, enough volatility to make it kind of sketchy a little bit for me today. And I think it's just because I don't have like my setups. It's been kind of rejecting a lot of them since yesterday. It was a nice short setup there. Trying to go long here. I missed the entrance.
Order filled.
All right, long off this doji. Looking for that move up to 38. Might not be a great idea. Ready to cut it quick if I have to. I gotta cut
Order
that.
filled.
Account, like, trailing max is pretty much maxed out. So I'd have to switch to the micros in this account. That's too bad. Oh, let's reduce down to one contract. 6.
Order filled. Order filled.
Another L. This account is pretty much burnt. I think that's gonna pop right there too. That was it. I just got in too early. I just don't know that I have the patience for this sometimes. Like, on the days where it's just like I guess like the days where the Bears are in control, which is a lot lately, and it's gonna be a lot going into the future. It just, I don't know. It just the movement is like sketchy often. You know what I mean? It's like really untrustworthy most of the time. I was about to take that short too.
Order filled. Order filled.
You gotta be kidding me. Alright, well, trading pretty bad. It's okay, Tiny. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I mean, I think the frustrating part is like, you'll have something that works for several months and then it'll switch on you. Um and if you're patient, which I often am not, if you're patient, then you might just have to wait a couple of days and then your setup will come back. But yeah, that's pretty frustrating, honestly. Right now there's just no move right now. This will probably come down and test the low. Just a lot of sitting on our hands right now. I definitely like just over traded in that whole area, which was a very sketchy zone. I think I probably would have done better trading the 1 minute chart instead of the other charts. But also the range on the candles is kind of extensive. TTM's at 0.7 on the 1 minute side. Um, right now that doesn't mean a whole lot because with the Bears in control the way that they are, it's a ways out before anything like interesting is gonna happen. I could just sit and wait for this crossover here, which I think is probably my best bet. Might just be a lot of waiting around today. I think that's likely what the situation's gonna be. It's just a lot of waiting around today. So, any plans for the weekend? Yeah, I can go either way here at this price. Yeah, you're right. Do you? So right now, I'm just going to wait on the 10-second chart for the 5200 cross, which is about $2 away from itself. If it moves a whole bunch, I don't really care. I'm not touching this until that crossover happens. Not gonna touch it. Even though it looks like there's gonna be a little bounce here. Like I said, I'm gonna wait for that crossover to happen. Right now it's at 38.44 and 35.61. So 283 difference. Now 276. This will probably pop up towards the 200 moving average soon. Maybe not though. Maybe not though. It kind of looks like it might reject on this 50 EMA. The moving averages are beginning to get set up in the proper direction though. 38.23 and 35.66. Now it's like 257 apart. So they're on approach. About 245. 806 minus. Oh, it's moving about 6 cents every 10 seconds. Now 37.94 and 35.70. 224. I don't remember how to do the math. I forget it sometimes. Just over $1 now. $50 moving average worked its way down. That's why I was waiting. When it crosses, I think we have the opportunity for like 12 ticks. I'll probably go for 8 though. Now $2 apart. Setup starting to be here. Let's check this on the 20-second chart. Let's see how this is going down. Back to the 10. There's that little rejection at the 200 that we expected. $35.96 and 37.
Order filled.
In long off 37.25, right at the 200 moving average. I'm looking for a break of the 200 moving average and a move up to 40. And then 3 contracts on our other account. This is why I keep multiple accounts. The moment I'm holding through this pullback, I'm not going to add to the position though. This is a pretty heavy pullback. $37 and $36.50. About 50 cents apart. Need to push up now. Should have gone for like 5 ticks because that would have worked. $36.21 and $36.95. Difference of 75 cents now, but the 50 moving average is kind of working its way on the downside. I don't think it's going to last. I think that this push up is still going to happen. Currently down 262 in this account, or in the in this trade. So pause on the account at the moment. The account's pretty new, so there's not a lot of built up equity in it yet. $36.13 and $36.85. Difference of 71 cents. The closer these get together, the more confident I feel about this trade. This is about to take an extra mini trade there.
Order filled.
Get a little mini trade here. I'll put that at like just a little 2-ticker.
Order filled.
There's that profit. So I'm looking for a breakthrough this here. Still in 3 contracts. I'm going for that full 8-tick. Stop. Currently it hit 39, which is 1 tick below our sell.
Order filled.
I meant to click that one tick down, but I think it'll still be okay. Taking another mini, or another tiny trade, I should say. Little trade.
Order filled.
Got the little trade. Just need one more push
Order
up. There we
filled.
go. There's the rip. Okay, so up 360 in the account here. Up 689.50 in this account. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at the 20-second chart, which is now getting above the 200 moving average. Stole 4 ticks off that push. Nice. Yeah, Tiny. I think Tiny. If you go with Apex, if you don't mind having not super customer service, Apex would be a less expensive option. Where you're basically looking at $40 a month until you earn your funding, and then after that, you can do Apex offers a one-time fee, which is like $140 in order to get access to your paid account indefinitely, or you pay $80 a month. Obviously, the 140 is a better value, but I think that the intention for them is that they're expecting people to fail. To be honest, um, but yeah. So I think that Apex may be a better option in terms of pricing, just to keep the expenses low. Also, you can pick up a free paper trading account on Tradeovate if you haven't used it yet and you want to get accustomed to the software itself, and they'll give you a free $50,000 paper trading account. You just sign up, and it's good for 2 weeks. It'll work for 2 weeks, and then after that, I don't know what happens. Oh well, actually, I do know what happens. It just stops working. You get delayed data. So the next big push up I'm going to be looking for is going to be this crossover here. I honestly wish I had gone for the 12 ticks that I mentioned, because I absolutely would have got it plus them. So should have gone for the full 12, but hey, trying to play it safe. Up 360 in the account, about 20% to goal. This headache is pretty intense, honestly. Wow. So I'm thinking that we may get a rejection right here. Obviously, it's going to be a rejection or a bounce. So this, if it does bounce, it'd be a bounce off the 9. If it does reject, it'd be a rejection off the 200 moving average and pull back likely to about 38 or 38.50. There's the rejection. So the reason why I was calling the rejection was really because it was trading along the 200 moving average. It's a very, very common rejection zone. And so the concept really is that this would pull back, which is not a bad thing. It'll pull back to around this 50 EMA or the 35 and kind of consolidate right here while this 5200 cross sets up. The golden cross. And currently, let's figure out where this is. So 39.89 minus 37.97. It's $1.92 apart on the 20-second chart. Now 39.85 minus 38.01. $1.84. So that's 11 cents per 20 seconds. Multiply that by 3 is 33 cents a minute. Divided by 0.33, we're looking at 557 divided by 60. 9 minutes. Okay. Gosh. What a headache, dude. Whew. Yeah. Take a look at the 10-second chart. So 10-second chart, I'm still learning. But it looks kind of solid to me. You see it just consolidated along this 50 moving average. Four-tick range from like here to here. So it looks like it might bounce right here. Head back to the 20. 20 is currently on red on TTM. 9's above 12. I'd be looking for a red and yellow on the TTM. 38.25 and 39.72. So these are about $1.50 apart. And on the 1 minute side, it's sort of just riding along the 50 moving average and rejecting on it a couple of times. So this could fall down a little bit more. We'll see if it holds this zone. Like 38 is really the area that I want to see. Just a long way off from the gold cross, as they call it. There's some breakdown there. Holding all the way back to 35. This could be that Eagle Mantis setup that we talk about a lot here. I don't know that setup. I'm not going to pretend like I have that setup mastered or anything of that nature, but it kind of looks like it could be. Yeah, I'm not ready to go long yet. I'm waiting for that 5200 crossover on the 20-second chart. Really important. I know that in TOS you don't have access to a seconds chart, just 1 minute. So it's a little bit less of an advantage. You did the free trial on Tradeovate. Yeah, you can do another one if you just use a different email account. So if you want to prime yourself before doing a futures trading evaluation, it may be useful. 37.37 or 37.77 and 39.56. So this actually diverged some. $1.78 apart. This breakout failed at the moment. Watching the 10-second chart. So what I'm finding with the 10-second chart that I'm liking is the gold cross, the 5200 cross, is really accurate for some momentum surges. I won't say trend reversals, but it's like a really quick reversal in whatever direction it's going, with a good amount of momentum that typically moves multiple dollars. So it gives you pretty reasonable opportunity to be able to attack it. Like this is about to be a 5200 cross to the downside. So I could indicate like a short available. One second, yeah. I'm back. There's that short that I mentioned. Obviously, right here, excuse me, would have been a better short. And that was basically this moving average crossover down. The 9 dipping below the 12, indicating that short-term move. So now I'm just going to be waiting a while. This actually fell down and made a new low. Let me look at this on a longer time frame. That is a major drop. That's crazy, dude. So this pulled all the way up to 41. And this just fell down 10 bucks. More than that. That's insane. So with that new low down there, I wonder if we'll bounce off this low or we're just gonna keep on dropping. ES is only down $12 on the day, so it's not like it's that far down, but at the same time, like the moves are pretty big. Like the movement from here to here, I mean, this is like $10 in like just a few minutes. Because this was, how long ago was this? Like 5 minutes ago? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. So like 5 minutes felt like 10 bucks. It's crazy. It's a lot of movement. No worries. Dude, this headache is intense, man. So on the 10-second chart, I'm just gonna wait for that 5200 cross again. And that may need to be the strategy that I have to trade right now with the current bearish movement, which means my other strategy, because my other strategy that I've been using with 100% accuracy for the vast majority of the month worked all the way up until yesterday. And then yesterday I kept trying to take my strat, and it went against me, and it went against heavy. So the bears have been out in heavy force. And I'm sure it's based really off of that like tiny little bit of good news that, which I don't even consider to be all that great of news, is that inflation improved slightly to 4.9%. But then like, that's kind of like, the way I see it is that's like, you're in like a kid in school, he's got a 29% F in the class. And then now his grade is a 34% F in the class. Like, it's still terrible, but it's a minor improvement because he turned in one assignment. Like, that's what it feels like to me. And so it's just kind of like, the way I see that is I'm just like, I just don't see it as like amazing news for the economy or for anything else, really. It's just a step in the right direction. It's kind of like, let's go through the whole journey, then celebrate, if that makes sense. No worries. It's basically just talking about inflation and like the PPI data and whatnot. What actually is up with the market news today? Friday. Today we have import price index and consumer sentiment. So it's looking like it's starting to turn around again. Again, we'll wait for that cross, which is now about $2.80 away from each other. So I'm not gonna take any trade until that point. 35.95 minus 33.08. Gotta glance it for a second. 287 on the 10-second chart. $86. Elephant tusk on the bow of a silly lady. Docked on the Ivory Coast. Mercedes in a row. Winding down the road. Starting to push up a little bit. It's going to be a lot of waiting around for me today. It's all right. Waiting is part of trading. Waiting and trading. Waiting and trading. 35.80. The 200 moving average is steady working its way down, but the 50 moving average is kind of staying stagnant. I was like really bad headache on my right temple, which was one of the areas that actually got the worst of the brain injury. Was this whole right area. I don't remember. I think that's the temporal lobe. I forgot. It would make sense considering it's called temple. Yeah, it's the temporal lobe on the side. So, if you're at all curious about what parts of my brain got damaged when that happened, it's basically the occipital lobe took the brunt of it. So, the occipital lobe was the most damaged. This part of your brain processes vision. So, you have your eyes right here, and then they actually have this. They have this cord that goes from your eyes and wraps around the side of your brain and connects to the occipital lobe, where it processes visual information and sends it back to your eyes. And it's sort of this like two-way street between your eyes and your brain. So your occipital lobe processes all the vision. Your temporal lobe, I don't actually remember what that was for, but I think it had a lot to do with speech. But this one took a lot of damage as well. This one took the brunt of it. This one took a fair amount. And then the frontal lobe, which I had minor damage in. The frontal lobe, this is our more recently evolved lobe. This is our more advanced lobe. This is responsible for decision making and like your cognitive abilities to be able to reason. That's where your frontal lobe is. So the damage was here, here, and here. The main brunt of it though was here, which made sense because they actually froze my head. And when they froze my head, the freezer thing, like it's supposed to be covered in like a blanket before the freeze. And this section of the blanket fell down or something, and the freezer stuck to my head and actually effectively burned a hole in my hair. So it burned a hole like through like into my scalp pretty badly. So I don't know if the occipital lobe damage actually came from the unit, but at the same time, um, it was uh, it was kind of ironic, I guess, that it was in the same spot. Mine's on your left. Hurts all the time around the orbital as well. Interesting. I didn't even know you had brain damage. It's probably brain damage. Mm. Yeah, it is. The sides are still kind of soft, but the front is the hardest. The top is actually the hardest. But the front is pretty hard. The back over here by the brain stem is a little bit is softer. And then the sides are also pretty kind of soft too. Oh, yeah. Funny enough, children of abuse households are actually more clumsy. No lie. Like that's a real thing. Um and a lot of it is it has a lot to do with their stories about themselves. It's actually really kind of fascinating. So, children in abused households, a lot of times, their their personal feelings of worthiness and belief in themselves, and love for themselves, i.e., their self esteem, is lower, and they tend to have stories like "I'm clumsy" or "accident prone," and all stories in our minds become self-fulfilling prophecies. Like if you say I'm good at math, even if you're terrible at math, eventually you'll you'll become more and more interested in math. Your brain will open up pathways in order to start learning math better. And then you'll become better and better at math till eventually your story about yourself changes. And then your belief about yourself changes as well. And your skill set gets better on it. And so it's kind of fascinating. It's just something I've learned, um, and I totally understand what you're talking about. Uh, uh, like I've mentioned before, I've come from those that same background, but I actually like knew people whose like parents were like so abusive they like threw like irons at their head and stuff like that, like just threw like whole like just like pretty insane. Um, Ooh, big fall in March. Sorry to hear that. Yikes. Yeah, and it's really like I don't know, it's kind of this it's a journey, and I think that um a lot of people think that like things like affirmations will make a big difference, but like affirmations won't do anything if you haven't begun to change the story about yourself. And I think that's something that's often very much overlooked. It's very difficult to like be grateful when like you're just like giving these affirmations like I am good, I am great, or like whatever. And then you don't actually feel any of that. We had beer bottles. Yeah, the beer bottle, the infamous beer bottle, man. Um, yeah, exactly. But yeah, like affirmations is actually this thing that comes later in the process of changing your neuroplasticity, or of utilizing your neuroplasticity rather to change your thought processes. Affirmations actually come later, and it really is a ton about changing your personal beliefs. But self awareness is actually the first step, and so I would say, Tiny, just like becoming self aware of that to begin with, is by far the most important part. Nice. That's cool. Yeah, I've done a lot of that like binaural beat stuff and whatnot. And like the positive. There's this Tiny, I'll share a playlist with you that I have. Obviously, like you know that I'm very much into music. Some of it is like, let's say a lot of it is kind of like leans towards the hip hop realm. For this particular playlist, it's called "The King's Affirmation" is the name of the playlist. Of course, it could be renamed to anything. But it's there's a lot of like really positive women in there and a lot of really positive content. Talks a lot about like energy and whatnot. But it's really cool. It's all music, with like sort of like slam poetry in it. Which I'm a nerd for slam poetry. 4130. We're just riding along here. Kind of just sideways now. Like after that last fall down, it's just been almost sideways. I mean, there was some movement here from like 30 up to like 33, which is a reasonable move, but we're a long ways off from me wanting to take any trades here. 34, 35. These diverged actually even further, so. Now we got a long way to go. ES is down $14. Right now, this is tapping the lows. That tapped the low. Low's 28.50 at the moment. Right now, it's just riding along and rejecting along the EMA 35. Good amount of short ops. Is it kind of funny that I almost feel like in order to be good at shorting, I need like a certain amount of pessimism? Is that really true? Like, I honestly have thought before about, since shorting and long strategies are basically the same thing, just flipped on each other's head. I've actually thought about taking a monitor and just literally just flipping it upside down, to make it a little bit easier to see the moves for me, and just trading on the reds. It'd be an interesting experiment for me. Okay, it is just past 8:30, 8:34. We may get a movement about anywhere between now and like 10 minutes from now. I think that we might get a move up and probably a test of this 200 moving average here. I tried to take a trade right there, but it just tapped my order, but didn't fill. So I'm gonna cut it. And so basically, I was gonna take this bounce here, and what looks to be a little incoming push up. Gosh, this headache is intense, dude. So I was gonna try to take that rip, which looked like it was on the way, but it just came down, tapped my buy order, but didn't fill. And not gonna do anything about it now. So, because that was the move, so I'm not gonna chase it. 33.67, and this is at 30.37. We're only 327 apart. What up, Ollie? Good to see you. Yeah, I love uh yeah, kind of. I mean like I'm not like the best lyricist or anything like that. I just rap for fun. Um but I mean sometimes, I don't know, I really enjoy a lot of slam poetry. And I have done actually some slam poetry in the past, but I couldn't pull pull nothing else out. I mean, I took a naproxen for the headache, but I mean, I don't normally take naproxen. I also don't normally get headaches. I'm doing okay, Ollie. I'm green on one account. I pretty much burned the other account though. Unfortunately. So basically, here's the numbers here. This account, I'm up 689.50 in and 360 on the day. Nice pop there. The other account is basically burnt. It has like $1 in trailing max, so it's basically done. So yesterday pretty much killed it because my strategy worked all month up until yesterday, where it didn't work, and it took me a little too long to realize. I think I traded a little. Well, I know I traded too large out of the gate on it as well. So and added to that position the big heavy loss that I took yesterday, that added to the original position too. Um, so yeah, the other account basically got burnt. This account's 20% to goal, or a little bit more, I think. Yeah, 23%. So I'm just waiting for my setup. A lot of sitting on my hands today. Just because like this has basically been just sort of in this range here, and I know that I could try to trade this, but when it's sideways and sort of choppy like this, I just don't have as much edge as I would on certain reversals. And I typically like to trade reversals. That's my own personal favorite setup, and I don't mean full on. I don't need a full entire day trend reversal. I can do micro reversals, but in order for those to work out, I've got to basically look for stuff like this, which is actually how I trade my normal strategy. But I'm noticing this is only really working on the 10-second chart, not the 20 where I normally trade. And also the other thing is like the golden cross thing, but only on the 10-second chart. So funny enough, I guess I just needed to be trading on the 10-second chart yesterday and taking less trades. So I think that's really what the jam was. And today I tried to, I started with that other account with a trailing max at 249, and basically only lost on that account. I don't even think I took a single win. Actually, I think I took one win. It was really, really awful trading. Yeah, look at that accuracy's like non-existent. 4 losers, 2 winners, and literally $1 left in trailing max, which really would just be trade on the micro and then hope you don't lose a single tick. Like hope you're never down even $1 in the trade. So I'll still attempt. I don't ever just be like, oh, it's done. I do try all the way to the end. New low here at 27.75. I do try all the way to the end, but I essentially would have to buy on up rip on the micro on one single contract or two single contracts or something like that, on something that is on rip that I'm buying market and taking like 2 ticks in order to just get it to like $10, and then from there I can trade the micro reasonably well, get it back up to $100 and attempt again. Or I could just let it fail and reset. It'll just reset on June 10th anyway. So, or wait, actually I think it'll reset on the 21st. Yeah, because this accounts from the 10th. So it'll reset in a week, just over. So it honestly just makes more sense probably to just let it fail. It's all good though, man. Like, yeah, I don't. It's not that big a deal. I mean, like, I've failed enough evaluations to be like, okay, this is what it is. I've actually never passed an eval, but I've gotten very close several times. My trading accuracy over the last year and over the last like couple of months has improved substantially, and so has my strategy. So in only really, I would say, the last 6 months have I really gotten, more like the last 4, have I really dialed in the strategy pretty like a lot, which worked very effectively until we had that super bearish momentum day yesterday. And so it was really working out, and I don't know, every single time I fail an eval, I learn something, and I learn stuff off basically every day. And that's one of the reasons why I write those reflections every day. Is it's about learning, and I hope that somebody else can get some value out of it, that somebody else gets learning out of it. But really, a lot of it is for me to learn as well. These diverged about $1.50 or so now. 31.67 minus 29.85, $1.82. Gonna wait for that crossover again. That's where we got green pretty well, but basically just gonna wait for that, which will probably be here in a couple of minutes. We've been typically getting an 8:45 push, which is just about 2 minutes out. So, I'd like to go for. I think we can go for 7. I don't know. I'll stick with 5. Just try and stay safe, because the other trade almost didn't work out. So I'll go for 5. It should be well within the range of the candles of the day. I think 6 is also well within the range. I don't think I have a 6 tick set up, but I can set one up. 5 ticks is for sure. 7 is kind of 8 seems a little iffy, and 12 seems risky but possible. Breaking down again. So this could be a little bit of a breakdown before, or it could just reject entirely, but we keep finding new lows. So the real question is, like, where's the bottom? Where's the actual bottom? Yeah, you've seen this, by the way, Tiny, just like how much the accuracy has improved, and the risk management as well. Risk management is like so key. Is just being able to cut your losers fast. putting the 15-minute chart up. Just want to see what was going on the 15. The 15 actually recently crossed the downside. It's basically just been a sell-off since the open. This was a low of yesterday, this area here. This whole section was the low of yesterday. So I wonder if we'll have that again today. Where are we at on the 3? Long way off. Just really slow trading, honestly, for me today. There's a little cyan right there. Just gonna hang out on the 10-second chart though, because this is what's working for me today. Every day is a little bit different, I guess. Nine's above 12, 35 is popping above the 50 on the 10-second chart. Like I said, I'm not going to take the trade until the crossover, which is pretty close, 29.96 and 30.59. $0.61 apart. I'll put my buy order. Oh, missed it. Put my buy order off 32. Damn. Put my buy order down at 31.50. I'm looking for a pullback to the 9 EMA.
Order filled.
All right, we're in 3 contracts at 31.50, and I'm looking to get out at 32.75. I'm also looking for this crossover to actually happen, which it has not yet. It's very close. This is pulling back a little bit more than I want to. Okay, so we're right back up. There's a 1-minute pullback. 1-minute pullbacks are usually pretty nice. I'm looking for this to pull up to 32.75 and on through. So can we get a test at 33? I pulled up to 32.50. That would have been a 4 ticker. I really want to see a stronger break than that. and down to 32 and a quarter. I wanted to see a stronger break on that one. Oh, wow. This happened last time. I think I should stick with 3 ticks. I tried to go for 5 there, and it was just 1 tick too many. Of course, it would have been fine if I entered a little bit lower on the trade, but we waited a while for this trade just to make sure that we're not over trading. It did pull back more than I expected it to. I want to see a yellow just here on the chart, on the TTM. See a little bit of buyer momentum off of 30.
Order filled.
Going for a little micro trade here off of 31 and just looking for that like tiny little move up to 31.75, but also looking for that move up to 32 and a quarter. So this is 2 trades on right now, 2 separate trades. I want to see this little crossover happen too. Doji on that one. Watching the buy orders. Starting to look a little better.
Order filled.
There's the little tiny trade-off. Now I need the larger trade-off, which did pop up and hit the sell order. No fill yet. This one ended up as a doji. I do have a reasonable amount of confidence that this will pop up. We do have science switch. We do have the crossover here. I did lower the sell order down to 3 ticks, down from 5. Basically because this one petered out here. It's also kind of struggling. Damn. I guess 32 needed to be the exit.
Order
There we go.
filled.
All right, we got that trade. We're up 827.50 in the account and up 498 on the day. A lot of patience required today. So thank you, Tiny. I really appreciate that. Yeah, like that really, like, if you remember, April's focus was nothing but risk management. What up, Michael? Started a fresh 50K on Monday. After a month of break. Nice, dude. Plus 595 on the week. Hell yeah, man. That's badass, dude. So Mike, I was about 50% to goal on my other account, and I took a fat hit yesterday. So yesterday I basically burnt my account that was almost to its funding level. And unfortunately, hold a runner. Um, that honestly wouldn't be such a bad idea. It would just be to take one with a trailing stop. That's a little outside of my wheelhouse, though, just to be honest. But I should add it into my wheelhouse because I always wanted to. So this is on approach on the 20-second chart. If the 20-second actually crosses, so this one it failed, but if the 20-second actually does cross, I'll do that. Getting above there now. All right, this is looking pretty decent on the 20-second chart. 31, 36, and 3303 on the crossover, plus the stack up on the TTM. There's a little flag here. Now this same setup though failed earlier today. Right back here. Right here. But this one looks a little bit better, I think. And the reason why I think it looks better is because we just have this full-on flag above here. The 9 and 12 are both getting above the 200 moving average. So I feel pretty good about this. Tried to take a long there. Didn't get the entry.
Order filled. Order filled.
I took that as a break even. Unfortunately, I didn't actually really mean to, but I was gonna cancel that trade to begin with, and then I was just already in it, and then started dropping, so I just cut it. But I was actually I was in profit for a second there, and I was like, just gonna see if it would just let me out. So micro loss on that. Break even really, but because of fees. Up for it, 89 on the day. Kind of waiting for this crossover to happen. I honestly wouldn't mind a pullback. The TTM looks a little extended to me, but nonetheless, let's take a look at the 1 minute chart. Eventually, yeah, it's actually looking kind of solid. I definitely should have left one as a runner. Yeah, this looks very much like a long area. A break-even runner if I'm trading 3, in take profit 2, and start that third. I wonder if so. Is there a way I can set up like multiple brackets? Man, I really wish I didn't actually cut that thing. But I would have actually had to just hold the exit button the whole time because I had already clicked it. Not like that would have mattered, but oh my gosh, this headache is killing me. It's honestly kind of hard to focus through it. Pull back to 35 seems kind of reasonable. So on the 10-second chart, we may get a little downward cross here, which would, yeah, there's the downward cross on the 912. So we'll probably get a little bit, like some pullback here. But this is looking nice and strong for some upward move now, to actually sort of trend reverse on the day. TTM on the 3-minute is still yellow. I think that we have room up to 38, maybe 38.75. Right now, we're hitting resistance on the 3-minute chart at the EMA 35. On the 3-minute, the 9 is also above the 12. So this looks pretty reasonable for an entry in this area. In fact, I might go for 5 ticks and join the bid here. I wanted to get in off 34, but I was trying to switch that thing. Tap my buy order, but no fill.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
There you go. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Okay, so I'm long here at 34.50, and I'm gonna look to get out at 36. Pulling back some. I'm gonna jump to the 1-minute chart here. Come on, low, dude. There's a little bit of pullback here.
Order filled.
Took a single contract off of 33.50, and I'm just looking for that bump. Whoa, holy moly. Let's switch to the 20-second chart. May have to cut this really fast. Come on, come on, come on. Is this Eagle Mantis or what? Oh my gosh, that is... No way, dude. May have to cut this. Wow. Contract dump. Got caught up in it. How much was that? 5,000 contracts in 20 seconds?
Order filled.
Ouch. That was $1,000 loss. That just took all of our profits on the day. And then some. Breathe. Got contract dumped again. That's the same thing. This is what I was talking about. This is the same thing that happened previously. And man, I took this based off the 3-minute chart. I guess I was just on the backside of the move. But this was the same thing that happened previously back here. Right here. Where we were about to get this sort of crossover, and then it was just like, bam, fat rejection. And that's literally what just happened. And I sort of filled it at the bottom too, but also it's like, you know, and I added to that position just like I did yesterday. Back to the drawing board. That puts me down 523 on the day from being up 489 or so. Must wait for crossover. Must wait for crossover. Like that makes me want to revenge trade, honestly. And wow. Y'all saw it here. Rejected far heavily, like far more heavy than I expected it to on that EMA 35. Massive contract dump. So in that 1 minute, that was 9,000 contracts. So this is kind of interesting. So the 9 EMA has not been acting as support since yesterday. I've seen it several times where like that was actually how I took that initial loss yesterday. Was I was taking a bounce trade off the 9 EMA and it did this exact thing where it did this huge contract dump on me. And yeah, so it's that's kind of what we're seeing, I think, in the market a lot. Right now. It's all good though. We got patience, intelligence, and speed. We can do it again. Sorry to hear that, homie. It's it seemed logically, it seemed long. And my wife asked me what happened yesterday. And she was like, "Did you overtrade? Were you emotional trading? What was happening?" And I was like, "No. It was the first trade of the day. I took a setup that I've taken a million times." Um, it's okay, Bon. You know, it happens. We were up 498 on the day or so, and lost a G on that one. Um, but yeah, she was asking me, you know, like, "Hey, were you emotional trading yesterday? What was going on?" I was like, "No, I wasn't actually. Like I was really tired, but that wasn't actually what the issue was. The issue was I didn't number one do my full market assessment because I got in, I saw something ripping, and waited for a pullback and tried to take a long off of the 9 EMA, which is a bounce trade, which is a really common trade that I've done thousands of times, if not more. Um, and it just the 9 EMA since yesterday, essentially it pulls back to it and then it dumps off of it. And that's been happening since yesterday. And there's a lot of instances of it that I've seen. Um, this one that just happened, and that one that happened to me yesterday, which happened live on cam as well. And then a couple that happened in my other account this morning. So uh so the 9 EMA is not something I can trust right now for a pullback zone and a bounce trade. And I don't think that I'll be able to trust it until the bulls step back in or until we start having some bullish days. But big market sell off today. Had some really great trades through this area, and through some of the other areas as well. But yeah, I actually took this trade though based off a 3-minute chart, and I should know better than to trade the longer time frames because they're at least for me they're kind of like they're a lot less reliable to me in terms of like taking trades in between. Like instead it would be like a really like a longer term thing where I'm watching for several hours and then finding something that fits my setup, and then going for a really really big win. I think is where a lot of I think the longer term charts would work out well for me. Yeah, it makes sense. So if you're trading a longer term chart, you're trading smaller size. That way you have more availability in price fluctuation. Is that why? Like essentially, if you're trading one contract and it drops down $5, your account's not dead. But if you're trading like three or four or five, then you're losing thousands of dollars. I'm assuming that's why. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it makes sense. So I've really only had accuracy today on the 10-second chart. It seems to me during this bear market, in this bear trading, that this is where I need to stay because this is the thing that is working for me right now. In the past, I tried to trade this. I was actually less accurate, but with the shift in the market, this is actually what's providing me accuracy. So but these major huge contract dumps that happen all at once are it's almost algorithmic. And if it's algorithmic, that means it has a pattern. And the pattern that I've seen pretty much each time is we're getting this 5200 cross and the rip up, and then it peaks, right? And after it begins to peak, right in this section here on the 10-second chart, once the 9 has crossed below the 12, then about less than a minute later, we're getting these major dump downs. Maybe it's a little bit more than a minute. So here's the downward cross, and then so there is I'll count this one: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 2 minutes, and then the plummet. And if I go to the 20-second chart, we'll see if it works the same. So it'd be right here. So on the 20-second chart is the actual beginning of the drop, and so that is 1 minute, 20, 40, 60. So if on the 10-second, so if we want to avoid this, on the 10-second chart, what we would do is we'll take our longs here on the 5200 cross, We'll ride this all the way up until it peaks, basically trading these flags along the way. Then once it starts to pull back, and we're seeing more than a couple of candles in pullback, like if you notice, like these are only, like this is only 3 candles pullback. That's 2. But if we start seeing like more than 3 candles, so this is like, here's 4. I mean, I know it's a doji, but it's basically that. But the moment that we see this crossover right here, we go short or trades are off the table. And then we can actually look at even going short right here when on the 10-second chart when the TTM starts to cross, or we can count up a couple, 1, 2, 3, and then go short. But it matches the same one as the that happened earlier. It's the same pattern, like exact same pattern, and so we can start to use that to our advantage now that we can see the pattern. So yeah, but it's the top end of a shoulder on a 10-second chart. And so I guess that makes sense, but also, so when I bought it, I was buying it here. I actually bought on the 3-minute chart, which is actually what got me. So basically this 3-minute was beginning to break out, and then it was this, I bought on this pullback here, or what I assume was a pullback, which often is this 3-minute pullback followed by a nice rip. But that's what got me, was actually trading on this chart, versus had I been watching the 10-second chart, I don't believe that I would have taken that trade. So I think that for me, I think that's what actually got me. Or sorry, this is the 5-minute. I meant to show the 3-minute. I was like, why does this look wrong? But this was actually what I was looking at here. So I got in right here, and then I added to the position right there, because a lot of times this will pull down and then we'll get that rip up, especially when the TTM is beginning to get its stack as well. So combining this strategy with the TTM typically works out pretty well for me. But I did notice that I took this as well below the EMA 35, and normally the strategy only works for me better when it's above the EMA 35. On the 10-second chart, though, you can see, like what you mentioned, the head and shoulders pattern. Right there. But I do have a strategy now going forward, learning from that loss. So look at the 1 minute. Yeah. Okay. We'll check that out in a second. Yeah, I'll be live for, I don't know, probably a couple more minutes, 10 more minutes or so. On the 1 minute, you said check. Yeah, it's a pretty short range head and shoulders though, but I see it. There's shoulder 1, the head, and then well, blam. It's almost like this. Like it's like you got the shoulder, the head, and then just straight down. Dude, this headache is killing me, man. So I have a strategy going forward for dealing with these bear traps, for dealing with these contract dumpers. Gratefully, the first time around, I didn't take that trade. But that was the same thing that got me yesterday. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just I feel like I can see the pattern now. And I also feel like the moving averages will call it out 2 minutes prior. So it's like 2-minute warning. What up, crypto? Good to see you, homie. Yeah, but the chart that I bought on upon was the 3-minute chart. That's what screwed me. Was that I bought on that 3-minute chart. And right now I just feel like I just need to be trading the 10-second only. On the 10-second though, you can totally see that head and shoulders. I know exactly what you're describing. And the 1 minute as well is also able to be seen. But I was not on the 10-second when I purchased. I bought on the 3-minute. And I felt iffy about it too. But yeah. Watch 410 for the bounce and the SPY. Based on the options chain. Pulling all the way down to 41.21, so 412 on the SPY. I think I can access the options chain in TOS on the mobile app. By the way. Yeah, SPY's at 410. Yeah, you can see the options chain here. I don't know how to read it, but I can see it. New learning unlocked. Learn how to read the options chain. It's kind of like endless learning, right? I'm like lowering myself in my chair. We just broke yesterday's low. Till 10ish. Yeah, more than likely. I don't know if I should try to get back green because I was, like I said, we were up almost 500. Now we're down 500 or so off that one trade. So I don't know if I should try. Basically, I would just be waiting for this setup again, which is kind of far off, because they're like, it's almost $5 apart. So I would just be basically waiting for that. I def could be focusing on short trading now, I guess. Boom, 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 boom. So there's 49,000 contracts at 410 on the SPY. I'll just share this screen with y'all. So this is a image that Pawn. I almost called you Spawn. Spawn's dope though, right? 49,000 contracts on open interest at 410. To be completely transparent, I do not understand the option. I like options or option chains or any of those types of things. but I will work to understand it. 20K more puts at 410 than calls. So they want to keep it above 410. Okay. What would 410 equate to on the ES? 4,100? Is that right? I don't know if that's right. If it's 4,100, then that's like another $20 down. Mm-hmm. 4120 area. That would be 412 on the SPY, right? No, because the SPY's at 410 right now. It's at 410.20. A nice little pop up here. So the first thing I'd be looking for upward move would be the EMA 35 crossing above the 50 EMA. And we'll see if this area acts as the low, or if we drop all the way down to 4120 like y'all mentioned. We may still keep dropping. Probably go ahead and shut down the stream now before it kicks me, actually, because I'm right at 2 hours. So I don't know why it hasn't kicked yet, but it likely will in a moment. So if you guys will take a moment to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and join up in our Discord community. I will write my reflection and my results in there, but I may continue to trade throughout the day.